to Sports Betting Illuminated, where we play with a house and not against it. I'm your host, Ariel Calista, author of Sports Betting Illuminated, an AI-powered path to profit. It is so wonderful seeing you here this morning. Thanks for stopping in, Super Duper James. Thomas, hello. Let's have a great day. Chuck Science. Ken, it is so wonderful seeing you all. Tyler, good morning. And also taking care of business, Loco. Welcome in. Hope you are having a great start to your weekends. Yeah, I know I am. It's still a little cold though. I wish the sun would come out. I've been waiting for some summer days already. I feel like the winter's been taking forever. It's been taking so long to get warm. Hey, good morning, Alvin. Good morning, Derek. And good morning, Tony. It is so wonderful seeing all of you here. How are you doing so far? And my thumbnail? Hey, Brian. How you doing? All right, so before we get started, it's so nice having, baseball coming back and NBA. Let's go. For a few days there, it was like, wow, just college basketball. And then the betting started getting a little wonky. I'm not going to lie, it's still been a little bit wonky. Just, identifying where the sports books are taking a stand, where the money is going, and things have been a little wonky, but that happens sometimes. And right now, of all times during the year, when things kind of slow down and then pick back up again, that's kind of when you tend to see this betting behavior starting to happen. Okay, hey Buffalo Ant, welcome in. All right, Tony, Ricky Steinhaus qualified second Atlanta, qualified fifth in truck race. All right, I love that. Oh boy, I'm rooting for you. I have not done much digging into that myself. It's been a little bit of a busy week for me, I'm not gonna lie. But at least it is like starting to calm down a little bit. Exactly. College gets really wonky. And it's just this time of year. We've seen this happen over and over again. And I would say, there's any period of sports betting where things just don't really line up, like your edges don't really seem to be there, and the games start looking a little weird. It is this time of year. So just be careful with your bankroll. And in the meantime, before we get started, let's sit back, relax, and get our minds right to win some wagers. Ooh, this is some good runs. It is fruity, it's tasty, so yummy, and I just think runs is my all-time favorite strain. All-time favorite. And this is actually some THCA flower. Wow, this looks like I'm pulling up the smallest bud, but I swear it was bigger before I started smoking it. It was like it was like this big, and then I smoked it all down. So but yeah, really good for just getting energized, starting your day, and the THCA flower is so good. I've been loving this, and it's legal to sell anywhere. The THCA, so what you guys might not know if you're a cannabis smoker, is the THCA turns into THC when you smoke it. When you light it, then it gets you even higher versus THC flower from the dispensary, because that turns in, a lot of it just turns into CBN, which is the one that makes you feel kind of sleepy and drowsy. All right. Yeah, it is a big college board today, but you know what? I'm kind of cherry picking my plays. This is a live stream, of course, so if there are any plays that you would like me to break down and analyze specifically that I'm not going over, feel free to throw them in the chat. I want to hear what you like, what you're looking at, what your plays are of the day, and of course, I'm happy to give them my analysis as well, live on air. But just warning, things have been a little wonky recently, but I think we're gonna do good today. I think we're gonna find some nice plays, and yeah, let's go. Tennessee Vols are undefeated. All right, let's go. Are we missing the Ari tunes? The Ari tunes? What are Ari tunes? That's true, Super James. I know. I feel like especially on like the former Smoke the Spread show, there were so many fans. So many. Are you guys not able to hear the background music? Maybe it's just too quiet. Okay, can you hear that now? I'm like, it's very calm for just waking up in the morning, if you're just waking up, or midday relaxing. There we go. I love it. All right, let's run down our current ROIs. We're still sitting at a 36% hockey. Just gonna skip over that because Olympics. In the NBA, we are sitting at a 33.6% ROI with a 68.8% win rate. In college basketball, we're sitting at a 32.3% ROI with a 69.3% win rate so far on 140 units played. Ooh, will Kentucky win in basketball? Let me dive into that. It wasn't exactly on my radar today, but you know what? Let's check it out. And then we'll do we'll get into some of the plays that I'm really keeping my eye on at this moment. Let's see where this current line is at. You're talking about the Kentucky versus Auburn game, right? Just to make sure that we're all on the same page. Not like a different Kentucky game, right? Just let me know. Let me know. Looks like a lot of people are taking Kentucky today. Just looking at this Kentucky Auburn game. Okay, so we're on the same page here. This line opened up Kentucky plus 3.5, minus 115. You know what? Despite a lot of action on the Kentucky spread, I'm not really seeing Vegas move this line at all. A lot of the sports books are holding this at minus 115. I would like to see if this moves a bit. If the sports books decide to take a stand here, it seems like they're pretty happy with this line so far. But what do you think? All right, Thomas. Stanford money line. Let's talk about it. They should have beat Georgia, only lost by 8. That is pretty close. Okay. Let's see. The Stanford money line. Like, the money hasn't quite shown up yet, so just letting you guys know. It's still pretty early. Okay, so things are a little slow moving. If you haven't subscribed already to my free daily email, make sure to do so, because I will be looking and updating all of these lines after the show as well. Stanford open at plus 110. I see in some spots are holding us at, this is very interesting. You know, Stanford opened up at plus 110 here, but I see in some local spots they moved Stanford to minus 105. But when I'm looking at a lot of the more like established Las Vegas sports books, they're holding it at like plus 105, plus 115. So that would indicate to me like not a lot, like a lot of the larger sports books are just holding this line pretty steady right now and aren't taking a huge position on this. What really got me into sports? Well, truthfully, I was not a big sports person growing up. You know, my grandpa and uncle, like, they like to, you know, sometimes have college football on TV or the NFL, but it was never like a big deal in my household growing up. My parents weren't really into sports. So what interested me was when I got into college and I started learning about economics. That really fascinated me. I love studying economics. And then actually even from the time I was like in middle school, we had like an intro to economics class, and that's kind of really where I found my passion for it. Then I started learning about game theory, and of course the creator of that, John Nash, has, you know, basically talked about game theory, really gone over it in depth. And what I figured out how to do was apply game theory to sports betting. And it was always one of those things where my family would say, basically, like a lot of families say, like, look both ways before you cross the street. They would always say, like, don't gamble because the house always wins. So gambling was not a thing growing up. Growing up in Las Vegas, you're just taught, like, as a hard rule, do not gamble. The house always wins. Then I started learning about game theory, and then I understood that when you apply game theory to play with the house, then you're winning with the house. So that's my entire strategy, is understanding where the house is taking a stand, identifying, you know, why they're reacting and, you know, what they're doing, and applying the principles of game theory to it so I can be playing with the house. And it's proven to be a great strategy over many years. Every ROI I've had is over 30%. So that's a great consistent return across multiple sports leagues, tested over many years. And let's just keep it going. Seriously. So that's why I really got into it. It's, yeah, math and game theory, and now, I mean, I'm studying AI and machine learning, data sciences, so it all just kind of goes together. That's where my interest stems from. Oh yeah, you know I like shopping. I did do archery growing up. Yeah, that was the one sport that I did. I got pretty good at it too. Like at the Las Vegas shoot, I was like ranked 14th in the country, so I was pretty good at archery. And I think I still want to pick it up again. I haven't done it in quite a few years, but I don't think there's any reason why I can't, you know, put up a target, pull out my bow, and get back to practice, right? Just gotta pick up my bow in Vegas, and we're there. Oh, it's okay, Ben. Welcome in. Oh yeah, no, it's great. It's great, and I would love to do some archery, especially where, like, living out on the East Coast right now, where the weather is so nice, and you know, you kind of have these like long summers. It would be good to go out and like practice archery again, and really like tune in my skills, and start competing. Who knows? That's always a possibility. Ken, that's a great question. When I lose a bet, does that mean the house will lose too? No. The house is very good at managing their risk. So they always have, the vig or the juice built into every single bet. So they're basically always making a profit regardless. But at the same time, there have been times where the house does push hard in one direction, where they think, this game is really going to go one way, and where they actually do take a stand and they turn out to be wrong. But of course, they account for that variance because they have the best mathematicians working for the biggest casinos in Vegas. They have all of that accounted for. So it works out for them in the long run. But for the most part, the house doesn't really lose. They have the best models. They are amazing at predicting all the different variables. They gather the best data. And they don't take a stand a lot. That's the truth. It's really only in like 11 to 13% of the games. What about fencing? I did do fencing in high school. I was pretty good at it, honestly, but yeah, my high school did offer some unusual things. Like, I would say the biggest sport in my school was swimming. A lot of people did that. I just never really enjoyed swimming that much. I did try fencing. That was fun, especially because like I'm a lefty, so I had to learn the lefty way of doing fencing. Holding this. I'm forgetting all the terminology. It's been a while, but had my own glove and everything. Yes, foil. That's it. we were using foils. Oh no. It was random for me too. It was definitely random. Thanks, Buffalo Ant. I was a cheerleader too in high school. I did do that. I had so much fun on a cheer team. And it was cool. Yeah, the cheer team and the dance team, because my school was so small, we didn't have a football team, so it was just a basketball team. So I was always like cheering for basketball. I really enjoyed going to all the games and watching the games, and being a cheerleader for those years. And yeah, that was kind of a crazy story, but that was like the first time like ever like I had this experience. I was like, oh my gosh, we're gonna fly on a private jet to Reno for our school's basketball game. That was a crazy experience, but true. Going to like a small private school, sometimes things like that happen. So yeah, it was fun being a cheerleader. Did the whole cheer thing for a while, and yeah, it was great. Then like the cheer team kind of merged with the dance team, and then I also decided like I'm gonna try some other kinds of things too, like fencing. So yeah. Alrighty, let's go over some games. This is a 1 o'clock game that I like, that I'm just looking at right now, but we'll just keep our eye on it. This Georgia Southern Eagles versus Appalachian State. This total's been kind of bouncing all over. It did look like it was starting to head towards the over, opening up at 145.5, creeped up to 146.5, went all the way up to 147.5 with level 1 money. And right now there's level 2 money on the over, but it dropped back just a little bit to 146.5. So I'm keeping my eye on this. It does seem like some money, and the sports books are moving in the right direction for the over, but I'm not even going to put this in an action play yet. We're just going to watch this line and see what it does. Alright, so let's talk about Monmouth versus Charleston. This was a 4 o'clock p.m. Eastern game. This total went from 142.5 to 145.5. to 148.5. And there was level 3 money earlier. There's level 2 money now, and this is some strong money. So I like this. It's a big sportsbook move. I think this is a nice play. I think this is a nice overplay in this Monmouth Charleston game. It's a 4 o'clock game. So coming up in just a few hours from now. Keep your eye on it. But I like this one a lot. I like this play. And I might even play it early before it moves out even more. It was a pretty big move though. Yeah, a 6-point move towards the over. All right, looking at this 10 o'clock game, UC San Diego versus UC Irvine. This total looks like it's starting to creep towards the over. It went from 138.5 to 141.5, backed by level 3 money. Now it's sitting at 143.5 with level 4 money. That's a pretty good amount of money. So yeah, I think it's starting to go towards the over, but because this game is pretty late tonight, I think I'm just gonna watch this one. But I do feel pretty solid about this over in this Monmouth Charleston game. So out of all the college basketball games, I would say that one is looking the most solid to me. This line, 6-point move towards the over, and the money's just been steady this entire time. All right, so we are going to roll into the 2-minute drill. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to throw them in the chat. Or, of course, if you want to write me directly, you could always reply to any one of my emails just by going to arielcalista.com, clicking the Stay in Touch button. It's free, easy to join, easy to write me any questions, comments you have. And I will be in the comments section, so stay with me and enjoy this 2-minute drill. Most bettors spend their time searching for the best line. Professionals spend just as much time watching for the second best line. And at first glance, this seems almost counterintuitive. If your goal is to maximize value, then why pay attention to inferior prices? And that is because the second best number often tells you where the market is about to go. Sports betting markets don't move all at once. They move in sequence. One sportsbook adjusts first, then all of the others follow, and this creates temporary disagreement across the market. Small gaps where different books offer slightly different prices on the same outcome. These gaps are not random. They represent friction in the price discovery process. When one sportsbook moves from -3 to -3.5, while all the others remain at -3, it signals that new information has entered the system. The books still holding the -3 are exposed, and they will either accept informed action at that number or move quickly to remove it. Watching how long that second best number survives reveals how confident the market is in the new price. If it disappears instantly, the move was likely information driven, and if it lingers, the move may have been precautionary or driven by unbalanced recreational action. And this is how professionals distinguish between meaningful movement and noise. Prediction markets make this process even clearer. Every single price exists alongside competing offers. You can see not only the best available price, but the depth behind it. Thin markets move easily, while deep markets resist the change. The second best number acts as a buffer, revealing how much pressure exists beneath the surface. And over time, bettors who understand this, they stop reacting to the current number and they start anticipating the next one, because the edge doesn't come from seeing what the market is. It comes from seeing what the market is about to become. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I am so glad you like the outfit. Thank you. If I should wear it on air sometime, let me know. I just might. Okay, so what did I get for Monmouth? The over here, I saw it at 148.5, but I would also recommend line shopping around. I see some spots already have it at 149.5 and 150.5, but this one spot has it at 145.5. That is interesting. That's funny, Super James. Alrighty. I would even check prediction markets too. I know some prediction markets only have like a few of the big college basketball games, but you know, they might have this one. It just depends. But check on the prediction markets too and see if you could get like, you know, a better number there as well. It's always worth checking it out. All right. That's right, taking care of business. Let's dive into the NBA for tonight. I have a few plays that I really like here. Alrighty. So, starting with this 7 o'clock game between the 76ers and the Pelicans. This total has been creeping on up all day, all morning so far. It went from 229.5 to 232.5 with level 1 over money. And as you guys know, on my scale of money significance, there's always mixed money, but when it becomes significant, level 1's the starts at the bottom, and then level 5 is the most significant. Then this line moved to 233 with level 2 over money. So that is interesting. That is a pretty big move, I would say, you know, so far for the 76ers Pelicans game towards the over. So I'm keeping my eye on this. Nice basketball over in the NBA today, and lots of money, lots of line action going towards the over. Looks pretty good so far. Now, I have been watching a few of these later games as well, and if there is anything else you want me to analyze, feel free to throw it in the chat. Love hearing from all of you. Looking at this Pistons-Bulls game, this is the 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern game. I've been watching the total here as well, but a lot of the significant money disappeared, and now it's just kind of some over money. It's not looking too interesting to me right now, because it went from 230.5 to 233.5. There was level 1 over money, but it seems like the sharps have kind of disappeared. Yeah, it seems like a lot of sharp money disappeared here, so I don't have a play right now at this moment in this game. But if you do, I'd love to hear from you. Then in this 8:10 p.m. Eastern game, I'm looking at this Grizzlies Heat total as well. Oh, what teams seem to be trying to tank? Well, hopefully none of them. I mean, I know like some of these teams were just pretty under. They were under fire for this pretty recently. So hopefully everybody's gonna be going out there and trying their best. I mean, to me personally, that's how it should be. How it should be. Yeah, exactly. They just got fined, and there's a lot of heat, I think, on these teams, you know, saying that you have to make your players perform. And I think that's just more fair for everybody. You know, it's kind of like game manipulation in a way, I would think, you know, and I think that's how they look at it too. But also for the sports bettors, and even for the fans, like, you want to see the people that, you know, you've paid good money for your tickets, or you're watching, you're spending your time like dedicated to the team, to the NBA franchise, and you want to see them perform their best, you know, not lose on purpose. So I think it's better for the bettors, which definitely benefits us. And also it's just better for the fans, I think, in general. So I think they're going to be really careful about that now if they try it. But hopefully they don't do that. But I don't know. It is sports. I'm sure people try to like get away with what they can, maybe. Hopefully they don't. Just keep everything fair. All right, so looking at this Memphis Grizzlies Miami Heat game later tonight, I've been watching this total go from 238.5 down to 235. So that is a 3.5 point drop on the total. Yet there's level 2 money on the over here. So all the money's going over, but the line's going under. I'm not a big fan of this right now. I'm gonna stay away from this total. So, moving on to the Kings versus Spurs. This is an 8 o'clock game as well, and I like this over here. Oh, what's my favorite college play today? That's easy. That is over 148.5 in this Monmouth Charleston game. Okay, so where was I? Kings versus Spurs. This is an 8 o'clock game. I like this over here. This went from 227.5 to 230.5 to 231 with level 3 money. So a lot of money on it. The line's going in the right direction, and it just seems like a solid overplay. It's going in the right direction, backed by a lot of money. So I like it. And finally, this is a 8:40 p.m. Eastern game. Houston Rockets versus the New York Knicks. This total I've been keeping my eye on as well, and I really like it. It went from 214.5 to 216.5 to 217.5, and it is backed by level 5 money. That is the most significant money. So I like seeing this total, and I like seeing all of the money piling on the over as well here. So I think this is a nice overplay. Yes, let's go. we did well with NBA totals. We've done well so far with NBA totals. It's been good. So just to run down my favorite plays today, I really don't have any action plays. This is all just plays that I like, and you know, we've gone over a few other plays that we're keeping our eye on, but at this moment, I'm not even gonna put them in the action pile. Overs are fun. Okay, so first one was college basketball. Loved this over in Monmouth versus Charleston at 4 o'clock. So that's coming up in just a few hours. I locked that one in early. In the NBA, I like the over in the 76ers Pelicans game. That's a 7 o'clock game tonight Eastern. Then I like the over in this Kings Spurs game as well. It is looking pretty solid. And finally, this over in this Rockets Knicks game is looking pretty great. Level 5 money. So those are all of the plays that I like for tonight. Let's go. Alrighty. So we are going to move on to the AI portion of our show. So there was this paper that was just released called The Artificial Hive Mind, the open-ended homogeneity of language models and beyond. So language models, that refers to models like ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude. These are all language models. It covers Llama, and a lot of these, like DeepSeek as well. These are all like large language models I'm sure you've probably interacted with or at least heard of. Is it best to always play overs? No, there are plenty of times I play under, Tony. Because a lot of times it's easier to not do something than it is to do something. And that's what I take, that's why I say like a lot of bettors need to account for that as well. Especially even when it comes to like props. You know, a lot of people want to play over like with the props and things like that. But it's important to really know like that players' detailed information and also understand it's easier to not do something than it is to do something. So unders are fun to play. I like it. You think the Spurs will put up 125? Tony's saying, I don't think 125. Honestly, I... What do I think? I don't know. You know, it's a little bit more like granular than I, typically look at things when I'm trying to identify like where the house is going. So, to me, I would have to do more research on that for sure. But it's kind of like playing props too. When you start looking at a lot of these other like types of bets, it's important to do some research to really understand like how the teams are going to be playing. What are the odds on that right now? Let me know. I would like to know. All right. So we're talking about large language models, and what this paper found is that using all of these open-ended prompts, a lot of these AI models frequently converge on the same concepts and metaphors. And they, like, for example, what is write a metaphor about time? This was just an open-ended prompt. This was given to over 70 different models, right? And they were measuring this based on how similar all their outputs are. And it was just clustering. So they actually created a really nice graph where they were able to cluster this, all the embeddings. And despite all of these models having, different backgrounds, different creators, they were all different sizes as well, even different temperatures, which increases like the creativity on it. They found that really with this write a metaphor about time prompt, that there were just two main clusters. These models either went to time is a river kind of metaphor, or they went to time is a weaver metaphor. So what you see here is a lot of these AI models, despite having a lot of these differences, when you give them the same prompt, a lot of them will generate the same output. Yet at the same time, they've all learned on the entire internet that's publicly available out there. And now with AI generated content taking over the internet, with a lot of people, interjecting their own selves into the work, but using AI to do so, is the internet going to become more uniform? Less, chaos and disagreement and, reaching new conclusions versus something that's, easy to read. It's very clear and coherent sentences and structure, but is it going to be a lot more similar to the next? And I think that's something that's important to, start thinking about. And at this point in time, we are seeing at an inflection point where we actually have the ability to think about this and start making the necessary changes. Oh yeah, definitely. Similar pre-training sets. Exactly. And they all have very similar outputs. So yeah, and even when they go through pre-training and different reinforcement learning styles and all of that, a lot of them tend to land on the same metaphor. So we're not really getting the creativity from these models that, you would expect where, humans are constantly disagreeing with each other. So, it's what are we going to be exposed to in the future of the internet, and how's the internet going to look? And do you think things are going to be easier to consume but less surprising? And what's going to happen to originality and individual viewpoints? So it's something to think about as we're using these AI models. And of course we want to use them as a tool, but we don't want to let them overtake, being our crutch instead of thinking. And, instead of having our own opinion, we're using an AI tool. We don't want to get to that point in a society, but think about it. Just the amount of people that are using AI right now to write and post their articles and blogs online. What do you think a healthy internet looks like in 10 years from now? Do you think it's going to be very curated by AI, very efficient, or is it going to be messy? And do you think even messy human responses are going to be more valuable than AI responses in the future? Thank you, Buffalo Ant. I appreciate it. Oh yeah, what biases towards specific outcomes in various sports domains? Is there bias towards teams' outcomes? Absolutely. I think I've seen that particularly in large language models. If you ask it to write maybe an open-ended story about, NFL teams going to the Super Bowl, for example. And let's be so honest, just looking at the amount of newspaper articles and just even written articles on the internet, the Chiefs have been one of the top reported on teams out there. And then you might see they might lean towards these AI models might lean towards writing stories about the Chiefs, for instance, versus a different team that has had less press coverage. So, that's definitely true. Alrighty, well. Let me know if you guys have any questions. That was everything for today. So I hope you enjoyed this AI segment, the 2-minute drill, and all the sports picks as well. Let's do some winning today. Good luck out there on all of your wagers. Let's have a wonderful winning weekend. It is Saturday morning, the start to a great weekend full of wins. If you haven't signed up for my free daily emails, please make sure to do so right now just by going to arielcalista.com, clicking that little button right here that says stay in touch, and sign up. It's free, it's easy to join. You don't get hit with spam, ads, BS. You got a coaching corner, AI segment, health corner every single day. You could reply back to any one of my emails, and a little picture of me every day at the bottom. Oh, and real quick. Oh yeah, I can't wait. Almost to 500 subs on YouTube. And real quick, I just wanted to show you. I got some new Soul Ray packaging in. You guys know that I've been big in the far infrared business for many years. I've gone to a lot of these conferences, working currently with Relax Saunas, which is one of the largest far and the only FDA registered far infrared sauna company. And then Soul Ray Jewelry, I've been talking about that for years. I'm wearing the earrings right here, but I even was able to Soul Ray this little necklace. So upgraded all of the packaging recently. I just wanted to show you because it looks so good. Yeah, check it out. This is one of the bracelets. It was my grandma's bracelet, so I'm gonna be shipping this back to her. This is Solray right here. It tells you what it does, and it even comes with a little time strip, so I'll be like sticking that right here to show you when it's time to get your bracelet recharged. But the far infrared inside it like goes through a special light structuring process. This is not like leaving your beads under the moonlight or sunlight kind of thing. This is actual biophysics, how it works. And yeah, so it goes through a generator. You know, the light gets polarized. It goes through a vortex. And yeah, then it actually stores far infrared inside all of the clear beads for 2 years. So yeah, the whole packaging look just got a major upgrade. So I was just so excited to show you. And it looks so nice now. So yeah. I know, I love it, Ken Leo. Thank you so much. I'm so glad that everybody is loving our gifts. And it does make a good gift. Hey, I don't know. If you're like me and all of your family's birthdays are coming up right now, it is a great time to check out Solray, send them something. And of course, I'm willing to work with anyone on prices of items. You guys are all like great customers here and showing up every day, and that's really important to me. I love it. I'm so glad you guys are wearing the bracelets and the necklaces. That makes me so happy. So stay healthy so you could make some sharp wagers. Good luck, everyone, this weekend. And I will see you all next time on Sports Betting Illuminated. The next show is Tuesday at 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern. Oh, I'll send you my website. It is just Soul, like sun, SOL dash Ray, R-A-Y, like sunray.com. That is my website. It's also on arielcalista.com. I have it linked. But if you have any questions or just want to learn more about it, feel free to reach out and ask me directly. It's super easy. But yeah, I love it. And these are the cards. They look so good too. I love it. Ooh, that is an important anniversary. Oh, that is amazing. Well, I'll definitely give you a super special deal. Just write me directly on the website, and I'm happy to make your lovely ladies something special. All right, good luck today, everyone. Thanks so much for joining me, and I will see you all next time. Thanks so much, Super Duper James, for linking it direct in the comments. Good luck today, everyone. Thanks for joining.